Okay, sorry, I look bad. Really bad. Um, I am sorry to say I cannot do until later this week the um think about it questions I will do. I swear that is the next video. It will probably be done on Tuesday or Wednesday. But now, mind you, I was a little bit behind. I caught up last week, but I was supposed to do a video for that, and I didn't. It was supposed to be after the think about it, and it didn't happen because it got really nuts this week. But if you didn't think I was gonna talk about Rwby, you're mistaken. I mean, that's my whole reason for doing these YouTube things in the first place when I started, and then it spawned off from there. So I'm gonna talk about the last couple things I remember from the first. From when I started not watching them for a little while. So the Four Sisters. I don't remember what the episode was before that. The battle with the Four Sisters. The story behind a little bit of how the Autumn lady, um, the Autumn Maiden lost her power, as well as how Cinder, um, rounded up some followers, as well, and then I will go deeper into the last two episodes. Now, mind you, the episode 10 is a little bit fuzzy, other than some certain details, because like I said, it's been a week, and I was thinking about rewatching before I did this, but I have stuff I have to get done within probably once as soon as I get done with this, and then so that way I can upload it while I'm doing my work. Good news before I start on that, I am going back to school this week. Not this upcoming week, but the next week. So Valentine's Day weekend, or not Valentine's Day weekend, the week after Valentine's Day. Um, so I will be busy a little bit, but I promise I will get those think abouts done, as well as and those are going to be in two parts because it turned out there was a lot more questions than I expected. So they're going to some questions are going to be one, and the rest of them are going to be in the next. So I won't be taking as much time to explain my think abouts, but I will make sure I go evaluate the process, or I might do multiple videos so that way it gets done. So the last thing I remember before I stopped was the tournament, and it was Yang versus Mercury, and Yang, supposedly from everyone else's view, Yang, crippled Mercury when actually because of Emerald, he, um, he was about to attack her and she was defending herself. Sadly, though, she didn't get to. They had to be eliminated or dropped out because of everything that happened. So after that point, some odd things happened, and at the end of, that I can't remember which episode it is. I am so sorry. At the end of the episode, Penny or Rwby sees Mercury leaving one of the tech, or probably one of the rooms probably using for the tech or how for the game, whole game structure, and she's wondering why is he here? Why isn't he at a hospital or away from Beacon when at which we I which we obviously knew because of what had happened. Well, let's just say, that when she hears who's battling who, now, I mean, it's she realizes what's going to happen, but she's still in so much shock. Of course, everyone knows Penny was an android-like being, and Pira Nikos, her I can't remember what it's called. Her ability was um controlling metal. So when she, so in the the next episode with the tournaments, that I might be going out of order of the episode. I'm sorry, I'm not going back to look at every single thing at the moment. I wish I could. Because of that, obviously we should have realized what was going to happen. But because Pyrrha's not, so strong, she's a lot stronger than she realizes, and she actually saw some of that power when she was talking to Jean, trying to figure out what to do. But that was the tip of the iceberg. During her battle with Penny, she turns Penny's blade on Penny, and it literally cuts her in pieces, and we get to see the android thing. Now, because of that, this was what Cinder was planning, getting the fear, panic, and negative emotions that Grimm are drawn towards more than what usually would happen. Among that, I mean, Torchwick is or Torchwood, whatever his name is, Clockwork Orange guy. At least that's what he looks like. Is released from his little prison and takes over the general's main ship that controls all the robots. And obviously now because of that, a lot of the hunters and huntresses. Excuse me one moment. I have to close the door because I have noisy people in the house. Sorry. Because of that, now, the robots that the general had created to help protect Vale from all Grimm and other threats is now turned on them. Now, I'm going to take a little break to do some prequel stuff, which is the four. I'm just going to say my view on the Four Sisters story, which was the behind the things, or like the storytelling thing for Rwby. They've been doing it since the last season, so I wasn't surprised when they brought it back this season. I do love the story of the Four Maidens. I'm gonna actually look up, see how that culture is, because honestly, it's a similar notion to the Snow Queen story. Now, no, I'm not talking about Elsa. Nor am I talking about Hans Christian Andersen's story. It's very similar in the aspects of them telling the story of the four elements. Hans Christian Andersen had the story of the Snow Queen, which was a story about a boy and a girl who fall in love, or are starting to have a budding romance, or that's, well, at least the Hallmark version. The original version is where they're kids and they're friends, but I prefer my Hallmark version. Will you knock it off? I'm sorry. This is Snickers. That's Snickers. Anyway, I want to get back to the point because I want to get this done. So pretty much, and the main one that's the evil person or the villain is the Snow Queen, but more or less it's misunderstood. There have been many stories that involve elements, the telling of the four elements throughout the ages. Now, like I said, Hans Christian Andersen actually had a long book storytelling of the Snow Queen. And then Frozen was originally supposed to make Elsa the evil Snow Queen, but then they changed it to make Hans it. So we're gonna leave it at that. I do like this version of the story. It seems very beautiful. Beautifully told, and that's that. Now on to the interesting part about Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury. So I guess now we know that Emerald actually has the ability to manipulate others into seeing what she wants to see, or believe. I have seen. Will you really? Now he wants to sit in my lap, even though I have no blanket on top. Now, and then Mercury, his father was a thief or I don't know, he was a bad guy. And his son fell in his footsteps. What is with you? Yes, you have my attention now. Will you stop it? Sorry. Anyway, so now so when Cinder and Emerald come to get him, or his father, and find out that he is dead, they have Mercury come in their stead. Now, the interesting thing is, and this is why it is so shocking about how the whole thing happened with Yang, is that his legs were amputated, whatever reason we do not know, and replaced with his weapon, which is we thought it was his boots, but it turns out it is his leg, that part of legs, because it's around from the knee down. So, sorry, obviously you don't know what I'm doing. From the knee down. So pretty much that's how you got away with that. Now, as I said before, they took over, they put a lot of negative energy, which drew Grimm, and then they took over the general's main ship, So there, with all that panic, and I'm going into what happened in the last episode. They released a giant dragon grim, which it can actually make other grim from little sludge bombs that fall to the ground. Yoop, down, knucklehead. And then we also get to see Blake meet her. We thought it was her friend or possibly an interest. Love interest. Wow, I was surprised. I was closer than I thought with the love interest. But at the end. And then I'm not really gonna talk about Weiss or Rwby from that part because it's not really that bit much that isn't already typical. But I'm just gonna get into what happened this episode because it's like my mind is multiply blown. So we already knew that Penny was an android. We didn't know that the general. You knock it off. Don't. The general also, or he, because for one thing, for at one point when they cut to Glinda, Crow, and Crow fighting, all of a sudden they see the general, and the last time we saw him, his ship went down, so we thought he was destroyed. I guess he wasn't. We got to finally see Velvet's weapon. Now, what I believe, and I think everyone else who saw this episode agrees with me, it's a two-part weapon. The main case is actually most likely the weapon, an actual weapon. And the other part, which helps her, is the camera. It takes pictures of anybody, anybody fighting, and makes their and they can remake their weapon. And I don't know if she just is very good studier and observer to know how to work how they use these said weapons or not. But we got to see so many different ones, and that honestly, my favorite was when the first one, which was Rwby's, and the last one, which was Penny's, right before she got hit in the face by a robot. And then, and so we've got Android General and Velvet's weapon. There are, let's see, a couple other things, and then that'll be it for this video. The next thing I'm gonna say is Weiss is finally getting her familiar out, which that's what I'm gonna call them. I don't remember what they're called. I'm sorry, I've been working since yesterday, so I'm very tired right now. But because of this episode, I'm energetic. But it was only his arm. I'm sorry, but that felt like a Yu-Gi-Oh moment to me with Exodia. Yes, I actually watched the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh when it first came out years ago. Yada yada yada. I'm old. And that was just a big shocker. Not a big shocker, but obviously it's the night that she battled when they were doing the little trailer for Weiss in the very beginning of the series. It's got to be that. So now on to the next thing, which is actually I'm going out of order because the last thing that's the biggest shocker I want to save for last. So Pyrrha decides she is going to take whatever is left of the Fall Maiden's abilities into herself so that way she can help protect Beacon and Vale and yada yada yada. But before it's completely finished, Cinder uses her bow and arrow and kills the poor Fall Maiden that she had already taken the power from. Yes, I forgot to mention it, but that was on purpose. So Cinder's not really, Cinder's the one who took the Fall Maiden's power, which obviously we could kind of tell, from her ability. That was not dust, and we knew that. So, sorry if I keep moving this, I'm trying to make sure I balance it, because I keep having this knucklehead bug me. So, and if you remember, previously, one of the previous ones, when Pyrrha found out about the Fall Maiden, or the Four Maidens, that whenever, although it usually is transferred to the next heir, which is Pyrrha in this case, or the next user, if the maidens are killed, sometimes it will go to the one who murders them, in this case Cinder. So now she is the next Fall Maiden. Sorry, he's just so cute. Aren't you? And lastly, I'm gonna talk about Blake and Adam and Yang. I am sorry, I cannot help this. It's my most interesting part. So Adam and Blake must have been a thing, I'm guessing, or they cared about each other very much. But I guess that doesn't stop. But I guess M is really a true beast because he actually does hit Blake, or he slaps her across the face. So abuse. I'm sorry, but I don't care for that. But even if it is the guy who's supposed to be the beast from my favorite movie, and then he actually tries to wound her so she doesn't go after Yank to stop her from saving her. And then Yang does go after her, Adam, and gets her arm cut off. I am what's gonna happen? Who knows? We will find out this Saturday on the day before Valentine's Day. Hopefully. And then Blake luckily enough creates one of her shadow selves so she can save Yang, but who knows what's gonna happen to that hand if it's still around. But I'm just terrified of what's gonna happen next. So that's about it for this episode. I might go back and redo this episode, but I will not take this one off because I just want everyone to be, because it's like, as soon as Adam slapped her, I actually went like, I was wondering what was going to happen with that. But, like I said, I might redo this episode to give better details, but that won't happen until after I get the Think About It's done. Like I said, it's going to be at least a two-parter. I don't know what at most. And then after that, I will be talking about, I don't remember what I was going to be talking about after that, because I had this whole planned out, but that's going to be the next thing. Now, you will not, since I have to wait till Sunday to see my stuff, I can't help that. I am not going to go super premium just to watch stuff the day of. But so I can last with that. Click like and subscribe down below if you want to find, and look at my other videos on Rwby if you want to see what I've done and how I've talked about them in the past. I gotta go because this thing might not let me put it in. Bye.